We are back with the podcast. We're starting, I need to get back into doing it on a regular basis. My ambition is to have 3 new ones. This one, which is a Q&A, it's a one-off called Ask KBay. And so there are fan submissions, listener, follower submissions, questions asked about anything, any broad topic, mostly focused around training or baseball training and softball training, but all questions are welcome. I take a couple and I'm going to tackle them every week, probably 3 per week, just depending on the question and how long it takes to answer them. But anything that's not answered on here in the long form are going to be answered in the short form on our Instagram and Facebook stories. But on top of that, we're going to have Chin Music, which is a current event baseball podcast only, and I have a co-host for that. It's going to be a baseball player. We're trying to work out the details before we start launching, because once we start, we don't want to stop. So that's going to be a really good one. It's going to be long form. And then another one that's off baseball and training topics is going to be called KBay Knows Everything. That is going to be an interview-only podcast, so I'm going to go around and interview people from all walks of life, all different jobs, professions, careers, interests, expertise, people that I am looking forward to talking to, people that I find interesting, and I'm going to talk to them about what they do and what makes them different or unique or an expert, which is, you know, a play on words. Obviously, I don't know everything, so I'm trying to evolve and learn everything that I can, hence the name KBay Knows Everything. But also, if you know me, you know I'm a kind of a know-it-all, so it's funny. But anyway, today is our first new episode of Ask KBay, and I picked out 3 questions from Facebook and Instagram. I'm going to answer them here, and they're going to, they all revolve around baseball and training with baseball. If you don't know, I own a baseball strength and conditioning facility in Peoria, Arizona. We have quite a few professional players, college, high school, and we even have a youth area, a youth program that revolves around teaching kids how to start in strength and conditioning. We grew really quick. We've been open for about 4 months now, and it's really going great. Check out the vlog that goes out this week, the new vlog. We're going to start dropping vlogs on the entire process of owning a gym, training, stuff with my players, and how things are going. I'm trying to get people to see that owning a gym isn't all it's cracked up to be. It's not, roses and sunshine, but it's also something I would never choose anything else to do besides. Again, thanks for checking us out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Hybrid Life. Go to our Instagram, The KevinBay, and Hybrid Performance Center. All the stuff that we put out, that's the best way to watch our stuff and engage and all that good stuff. So if you're not already, go do it. If you're already subscribed or following, I appreciate you, and thanks. All right, let's get to the questions. The first question is from my boy Jay from Facebook. He asks, what has been your biggest hurdle opening the new facility in Peoria? So that's a weird question. There isn't something specific that was difficult. I'd say the entire journey leading up to now has been up and down. There's a lot of things that I've had to deal with that led me to this point. I had a facility before this inside of another facility, and to say we didn't see eye to eye. And I'll tell you one thing, if anybody is doing something on their own and you are involving another person, whether it be renting space from them or what have you, always get something in writing. Because if you don't, they're going to try and manipulate their agenda to their benefit. And I'll just leave it at that. But because of some certain things, it forced me to go out on my own and do my own thing, which is what landed us here. So I think that was the biggest obstacle, but because of that obstacle, it made something come out of it that is 1,000 times better. I couldn't be in a better situation right now this year than I was 1 year ago in the past. So last year, I couldn't be in a better situation than I am now. We have, I don't know, 3 times more people in here. We have a lot more professionals, and everybody that I had in that previous location all came with me to this location. So, I mean, obviously, getting a financial situation situated and figuring out budget and what you're spending and what you're bringing in is always a stressor. What I would say is the number one thing that you should do if you're opening a business, whether it's what I'm doing or any business, is build relationships. Nothing can make your business grow better and longer for a long-term healthy business than building really good relationships. If it wasn't for those, I would probably already be closed. But I have worked super hard on trying to build great relationships with people in my industry and just surrounding area that has given them, you know, a sense that I know what I'm doing and trust what I'm doing, and they send people to me. Marketing is great. You have to learn all that stuff, and you know, ads and Facebook ads, Instagram ads, all that stuff's great. But unless you have relationships, it's come and go. That kind of stuff's come and go. You'll get a person for a few months and they leave, 1 month and they leave, 6 months and they leave. Build the relationships, and you have long sustaining clients, members, whatever you're doing. You're selling the product, anything like that. Establish relationships, over-deliver the product that you're selling. Over-deliver the product that you're selling. And by establishing relationships, whether it's new people that walk in the door or just people in my industry that will never be members here, never be members, never use me as a coach, but what will happen is they will tell people that are looking for what I'm doing, they will tell them about me and send them over to me. So, like I said, there's not really one single hurdle that has been difficult other than what it took me to get started to get in here. That was the hardest part. So thanks for that question, dude. I appreciate it. Number 2 is what is the best leg stretch? And this is from like user, it's probably a fake, because I don't know what the best leg stretch would be, but I wanted to talk about it because we don't really stretch. I don't believe in static stretching. We don't sit there and hold stretches, push. We use warm-up. For our warm-up, we use active stuff, so moving around, jumps, runs, sprints. We don't just get on the treadmill and jog and do stuff like that for 5 minutes, but depending on what the actual workout that day is, it depends on what our warm-up is. We do foam roll a little bit in the beginning. I like to do foam rolling after everything's done. It's kind of like the analogy, you wouldn't try to foam roll a rock because a rock is hard. That's kind of how your muscles are when you first walk into the gym. They're cold, they're not pliable. So foam rolling, lacrosse ball, that kind of stuff kind of defeats the purpose in the intern part. But if it makes you feel better, you should do it. If anything makes you feel better, if you like stretching, I don't mind getting on the ground and stretching. Just know that that's not going to be beneficial long term or even short term in the workout. So, like I said, we do not static stretch. We do like holds and bracing, and we get into end ranges with bands and stuff, but that's to create mobility. There's a difference between being mobile and being flexible. That kind of stuff is a longer answer. Mobility and flexibility, that could be its own podcast, but for now, with that question, we don't necessarily stretch, but we do extensive warm-ups. I think warm-ups can get a little bit crazy with people. They start warming up for 15, 20, 25 minutes. I think that's a little excessive. I think the best sweet spot is anywhere from 5 to 7, maybe 10 minutes. Other than that, it just turns into overkill. You don't have to do a full workout to do a warm-up. So we like to stay right around 5 to 7 minutes based on what the workout is, and we just go from there. It's different every day. I don't have a go-to warm-up or a go-to mobility routine. It literally just depends on what the workout is, and sometimes, more than likely, it depends on who the person is. Some people are more flexible than others. Some people are really inflexible. So kind of gauge certain things depending on the person too. Another one is about icing. So I like the ice, I like the way it feels, and usually when my arm is sore, I like to throw some ice on it and make it feel better. Thoughts? So, thoughts on icing is don't ice. Again, this could be a whole nother podcast, and I'll probably do a podcast specifically on icing, but there's no need to ice. Icing does nothing. It actually slows down recovery. It just turned into a thing a long time ago. And there's a book called, it's drawing a blank. I can't remember the name of it. I'll get that. I'll put it in the show notes after this, but it talks about how the term rice came into fruition. It's insane to think that it's stuck around for as long as it has. And if you think about ice, when you ice something, it stops blood flow. If you stop blood flow, that stops healing. You need healing for things to heal, like ligaments and muscles and things like that. You have to have blood flow for that. Compression we love. We love compression. Movement and compression. A really good friend of mine, Dr. Kelly Starrett, talks about icing at length and why it's not beneficial just to sit there and throw a pack of ice on your arm when you just threw, or on your shoulder when you just threw. It just doesn't do what you think it does. If it makes you feel better, great, maybe do it for 5 or 10 minutes, but if you're trying to do it to recover, don't do it, all right? There's better ways to do things to recover, namely training the day of and the next day after a start, if you're a pitcher. If you do something like roll an ankle or something, compression. Do not ice, don't ice. And then as quickly as you can without hurting yourself, try and get movement into that joint. Movement and compression are far better than icing. Nobody ices in here. Now, someone will say, well, what about ice baths? You're always talking about ice baths. Don't confuse the two. One is to affect your central nervous system, deregulate, teaching you how to breathe. It's not about inflammation and healing. It's completely different. So again, that could be a whole nother podcast on cold tubs and hot tubs, contrast recovery techniques, things like that. Don't get those two mixed up. They're totally different. Okay, so no ice, compression, heat, movement, way better than icing. I give you millions of, not millions, but I could give you a ton of data that supports that philosophy from some of the smartest people in strength and conditioning, far smarter than I am. I get my information from them, and they spend their lives, doing that stuff. So no ice, compression, heat, movement. Do that. Stop icing. Alrighty, so the last one we're going to do comes from Jackson, and he said, Coach, is there any way you can give out an individual workout program for pitchers, outfielders, and catchers? Well, I can't do that. That is way too technical of a question. and it would require, you know, an hour to chat about why we're doing. I mean, that's three positions, and it's completely different for every single person. Two different pitchers would get two different workouts, right? So our program's designed to be, I mean, there's a lot of variables too, where we're at in the season, if we're in the off season, if we're in the preseason, if we're in the postseason, if we're in season. All of that matters in how we program workouts. Each person's different. Some people are stronger than others. Some people have limitations. Some people excel at certain things that other people don't excel at. So all these programs that you know, I get this question a lot, not just from a guy like Jackson, but people will send me a DM, hey, do you mind sending me a sample work? No, I cannot do that. That's crazy. If anybody does that for you, they're just blowing smoke up your ass. There's nothing specific to what they're sending you if they don't have information from you on you as a person, individual, position, all kinds of different things, your history of training, injuries. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. So I would never start with just taking a DM and being, oh, you need a workout? Sure, take this. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. I do have a 30-day ebook. If anyone's interested, shoot me a DM. I can send you a 30-day, 30-minute ebook that I wrote that has nothing to do with baseball training or specific positions. It is just to get somebody started into doing maybe at-home workouts or 30-minute workouts, people that are short on time. It works totally fine. If you're trying to do it to be a better baseball player, I would say no. We do have online programs that you would fill out a lengthy questionnaire. From that questionnaire, we come up with a workout program. Or if you're in Arizona, we have plenty of baseball programs through our membership that are designed depending on where we're at in the season, what position you play, all the stuff that you asked. So I apologize that I can't just come out there and touch upon, you know, what kind of program I would give you as an individual, but there's just a lot more data that I would need than you know, hey, I pitch, oh, and I play outfield and I catch too. So can you give me a workout program for all of those? I just can't do that. So again, go to our social medias, check that stuff out. I post workout stuff every day almost. If you are interested in doing our online program, send me a DM or shoot me an email at KevinBay@hybridfitclub.com, and then I'll get right back to you. I'll send you the questionnaire out, give you all the details of the plan, and then if you're interested, we can get you set up that way. I just can't give you a cookie cutter workout. There's nothing I can't stand more than cookie cutter workouts in my space. So they're out there, you could find them. There's a lot of people with doctors in front of their name that do cookie cutter workouts and things like that. That's just not me. I don't believe in it. I don't think that's the best way to serve you guys, and it's just not the way I do things. So I hope that can kind of answer your question and help you. I'm more than willing to help anybody that needs help. I just can't do something that I don't think is going to be helpful for you. So, well, thanks guys. That was our first one back from a long time. We haven't done a podcast in like a year. One of my favorite things to do was podcasting. I got away from me, and I'm not going to do that anymore. So we're going to be on it. Question and answer every week. If you have questions, send them to me. I'm gonna put out a post asking for questions and questions through our Facebook and Instagram. If you want to check us out, at the KevinBay on Instagram, or at Hybrid Performance Center for the gym Instagram. I appreciate you listening, appreciate the questions and all the engagement that I get all the time from you guys, whether it's one person or 1,000 people. We will be back again next week. Keep an eye out for the vlog, and until next time, we'll see ya.